Episode 11, The Gates of the Forge. The massive bronze doors loomed before them, silent sentinels radiating an almost palpable aura of ancient power. Intricate silver runes pulsed with a soft, steady light, covering the doors entirely in interlocking patterns that seemed to shift and flow beneath the gaze. Runekeeper Thrain approached reverently, tracing the glowing lines with a gnarled finger. "Magnificent," he breathed, awe momentarily overshadowing their peril. Wards of preservation, seals of making, power not felt in Stonehold for millennia. This is the forge of the ancients. His expression grew serious. But these are not mere locks. They are designed to repel force, magical or mundane, and punish the unworthy. Opening them will require understanding, not brute strength. Borin stepped closer, feeling the clean energy of the runes push back against the lingering chill he felt from the corrupted mountain beyond, a stark contrast that strengthened his resolve. Kaelen wasted no time. "Thrain, work on the doors. Borin, Lyra, assist him." Brokk, the scarred dwarf captain, met his gaze, the earlier tension replaced by grim necessity. Your men, Grok, establish a defense back down that corridor. Choke point, kill zone. They will be coming." Brokk nodded curtly and directed his few remaining veterans, their faces set like stone, back into the basalt passage, beginning to use fallen rocks and debris to construct a hasty barricade. Grok hefted his great axe, taking a position where his reach and power would be most effective. Lyra slipped back into the shadows of the corridor like a wraith, returning moments later. "Movement," she reported quietly. "Organized, still distant, but closing faster than I'd like." The race was on. At the doors, Thrain produced his texts and the focus stone fragment, comparing symbols, muttering phrases in Old Dwarven under his breath. Lyra extended her senses, trying to feel the energy flow within the runic matrix, searching for a sequence, a keyhole, anything. Borin laid his hand gently on the cool bronze, channeling a faint pulse of Arian's light, hoping for resonance. The runes remained impassive for long, frustrating minutes. "It needs more," Thrain muttered. "A specific resonance, a key, perhaps a command word lost to time." Suddenly, the silver runes flared brightly, not from their efforts but defensively. Further back down the corridor near the bend, black questing tendrils of shadow slithered into view, testing the air, then recoiled violently as they brushed against the edge of the forge's protective aura, dissolving into harmless smoke. "They know we're here," Kaelen stated grimly, drawing his sword. "Or they're drawn to the forge itself." Far above, Gorkoth received confirmation from his shadow sensitives. "They are near the Old Heart, Commander," a hunched goblin shaman hissed. "A place of great power shielded." Gorkoth grinned maliciously. "Excellent. Rakul will be pleased. Send the silent hunters. Bring me the surfacers and probe the shield. I want to know what the dwarves guarded so well." He dispatched a dozen figures clad in dark leather and wielding cruel barbed weapons, elite Umbral trackers known for their stealth and lethality, followed by two crackling, vaguely canine beasts formed of solidified shadow. The attack came swiftly. Alara's warning cry preceded the whistle of barbed darts fired from the darkness down the corridor. Brokk's dwarves raised their shields, the darts clattering harmlessly or thudding into the hastily built barricade. Then the silent hunters flowed around the bend, moving with unnatural speed, supported by the snarling shadow beasts. The corridor erupted into desperate combat. Grok roared, his axe meeting the charge head-on, cleaving a hunter almost in two. Brokk and his dwarves held the barricade, axes and hammers ringing against the hunter's poisoned blades. Lyra fired arrow after arrow, disrupting the attacker's coordination, while Kaelen moved to plug gaps in the defense, his longsword a blur. Despite their fury, the defenders were outnumbered and outmatched in the confined space. A dwarf cried out as a shadow beast's jaws closed on his leg. "We need more time," Kaelen yelled back towards the doors. Thrain looked up from his frantic work, inspiration striking. "Borin, your hammer. It carries Arian's echo." Place it upon the central master rune. There. He pointed to a large, complex symbol depicting a flaming anvil. Lyra, when he touches it, stabilize the energy flow. Channel the ambient resonance into his light. I will speak the command. Borin scrambled onto the slight pedestal before the doors, hefting his hammer. Lyra took a deep breath, focusing her will. As Borin firmly placed the flat of his hammer onto the master rune, Thrain bellowed a single word in resounding Old Dwarven. Nakad, forge. Golden light erupted from Borin's hammer, pouring into the master rune. Lyra cried out, gathering the hum of the chamber, the faint light from the silver runes, and her own arcane power into a focused stream, merging it with Borin's light. The entire door surface blazed with blinding silver-gold light. A deep, resonant clang echoed, shaking the very stone beneath their feet, and with agonizing slowness, the massive bronze doors began to grind inwards. Hope surged. The doors opened onto a vast, awe-inspiring chamber. Immense silent anvils stood scattered across a polished floor, glowing faintly. Along the walls stood ranks of dormant Dwarven automatons, ancient guardians crafted from metal and stone. In the chamber's center, a colossal crystal pulsed steadily with pure white light, bathing everything in a clean, warm glow. Fall back. Into the forge, Kaelen commanded, seeing the defenders at the barricade beginning to buckle under the hunter's assault. He, Alara, and Grok covered the retreat, firing, slashing, smashing, backing towards the slowly opening gateway. Brokk and his remaining 2 dwarves stumbled back, one bleeding heavily. Grok held the opening, a one-man army, swinging his axe in wide arcs, keeping the hunters and shadow beasts at bay for precious seconds as the last defenders scrambled through. "Grok, now!" Kaelen yelled, pulling the giant barbarian back as the doors neared closing. Inside, Thrain frantically searched the inner doorframe. "Here! The closing rune!" He slammed his palm onto a corresponding symbol inside. With another resonant clang, the great bronze doors began to swing shut, momentum carrying them closed just as the first of the silent hunters lunged through the gap. The doors met with a final echoing thoom, sealing the chamber. A single, severed umbral arm lay twitching on the pristine floor inside. Silence descended once more, broken only by their ragged breathing and the soft hum of the central crystal. They were inside, safe, for the moment. They stood in the heart of Dwarven legend, the forge of the ancients, surrounded by dormant power and forgotten knowledge. But the heavy bronze doors now sealed them in as much as they sealed the enemy out. Were they saved, or merely trapped in a different, more ancient cage? Kaelen looked around at the silent watchers of stone and metal, at the immense pulsing heart of the forge, and knew their respite would be short-lived. Sanctuary found, but perhaps imprisonment gained. Within the legendary forge of the ancients, the companions catch their breath, surrounded by dormant power. What secrets does this place hold? Can its power be awakened? And what happens when the enemy inevitably finds a way through the ancient wards? Teaser for episode 12. Quick cuts. Borin reaching out towards the giant pulsing crystal. Lyra examining the dormant Dwarven golems with fascination. Thrain attempting to interface with a master control pedestal. Ilara finding ancient weapon schematics. Outside, Gorkoth furiously orders his forces to begin assaulting the forge doors with dark magic and brute force. Kazak Ur's shadowy form slowly turning its attention towards the forge's location deep below. Next time on Echoes of Eredor, Awakening the Forge. The companions explore the ancient sanctuary, discovering its potential and its perils, while outside, the forces of Shadow gather for a determined assault on their last refuge. What power lies dormant in the forge? Click to watch episode 12 and subscribe to Echoes of Eredor.